Today is Tuesday, the 19th of June, and I'm glad you could join us. Well, the interminable budget debate is over for another year. What was interesting is the extent to which questioning by the PLP members of the House of Assembly showed up the lack of knowledge and the lack of capacity of the ministers of the F&M. It also showed the crudeness and the crassness of Hubert Ingraham, the leader of the F&M, and his pure irritation at being at the other end of the stick. He has to answer the questions now. It now appears that at least 3 election results are being challenged by the PLP. On Friday last, we learned that leave had been granted for at least 2 petitions to be filed in the courts. One in Pinewood, where Alison Gibson was the incumbent, and she's challenging the election result there against Byron Woodside. The other is in Marco City, where the incumbent was Pleasant Bridgewater, and she's challenging the election of Zhivago Lang. Those are both ministers of the government today, Zhivago Lang and Byron Woodside. We expected the 2 others would be filed, but as of yesterday, there was only one additional one filed, and that was Leslie Miller as the former Blue Hills representative, challenging the result in that constituency where Sidney Colley was elected, and he too is a minister of the F&M government. One of the things I want to do again is to urge all persons who are not registered to go out and get registered. We have to prepare for a snap election, given that a ruling in an election court may change the balance in the House. So encourage all those who've turned 18 after the election to go and register, and all PLPs who did not get to register before the election on the 2nd of May of this year to go out now and get registered. It's important for every PLP to be on the rolls in order for us to maintain our ground if there is another general election call before the end of the year. The Prime Minister, Hubert Ingraham, and Brent Simonet, his foreign minister, are off to Washington this week for the Conference on the Future of the Caribbean. This is a conference that I worked hard to promote during my time as Minister of Foreign Affairs. It is an important opportunity for dialogue at the highest levels of the U.S. government and those of the CARICOM region, of which the Bahamas is a part. It was clear from the answer given in the House of Assembly to parliamentary questions during the budget debate that Mr. Ingraham and his foreign minister have no clue as to the importance of the meeting. For them, it is simply a time for them to smile for the cameras with the U.S. President and with the U.S. Secretary of State. However, it's more important than that. 2 countries in the region, Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, have determined that by the year 2020, they will be developed countries with all that that means. And they have begun to make adjustments to their economies and the investment in the future that will make this a reality. The Christie administration had the same thing in store for the Bahamas, but no such commitment has been made by the F&M, and they have no trade policy. Out of this conference should come an understanding between the U.S. side and the CARICOM side of the need for continued dialogue between CARICOM and the United States. And secondly, there must be a commitment on the part of the United States on drug security issues, not the narrowly defined terrorism agenda that the United States is always concerned about. Security in this region means a fight against the drug barons and the drug culture overcoming our countries. It also means support for education and for health care to ensure that the populations can survive into the future. And finally, there should be a commitment to a free trade agreement with the region, with special and differential treatment for the small island developing states that make up CARICOM. It should include visa-free access for CARICOM citizens into the United States. Finally, the Bahamas should make a special push for the development and security of Haiti. It should also push for a discussion on Cuba, post-Castro, and the principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of other nations. And the embargo by the U.S. against Cuba should end, and we should ask for it to end. We doubt that you will see any of these high-minded discussions come from our own leaders. What you will see are pictures of a grinning Prime Minister and his Foreign Minister just happy to be there in the presence of the U.S. President and the U.S. Secretary of State. And you really can then weep for our country because of this. That's it for today. We hope you can make it the next time, and goodbye.